Again, and thank you for joining me this evening. I tried to do it yesterday, but I just didn't have the time. So we're meeting today, and I'll probably have more of these sessions for prayer and updates. So you can stay tuned on the WhatsApp group, and you can invite people, no problem. I guess people would like to speak with Israelis and know what's going on firsthand, so no problem. We'll have to start with a prayer. The situation is really bad. When I say bad, I was thinking about it being bad as 1973, the Yom Kippur War, and it's worse than that. Then I thought about the Independence War, and it's worse than that because we're already standing on approximately 1,000 casualties. It's not what you're going to see online, but that's probably the actual number. 1,000 dead already. 2,500 are injured. About 300 of them are badly injured, you won't hear it on the media. We're talking about approximately 200 people that were kidnapped into Gaza. That's probably the actual number. We don't know, it's not confirmed yet, but that's probably the actual number, 200 people. I know in person one lady that is missing. You're going to see her picture later. And I know a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, 3 of his nephews are in Gaza right now. 3 of his nephews. And we're not talking about the older nephews, they are young children. So the situation is extremely dire, and we'll have to start with a prayer. So I'm going to read Psalm 1 and 2. In Jewish tradition, Psalm 1 and 2 are actually one chapter. So let's start that. I'm going to read it in Hebrew. You may read it, of course, in English. So it goes like this. אשרי האיש אשר לא הלך בעצת רשעים ובדרך חטאים לא עמד ובמושב לצים לא ישב כי אם בתורת אדוני חפצו ובתורתו יהגה יומם ולילה והיה כעץ שתול על פלגי מים אשר פריו ייתן בעיתו ועלהו לא ייבול וכל אשר יעשה יצליח לא כן הרשעים כי אם כמוץ אשר תדפן הרוח על כן לא יקומו רשעים במשפט וחטאים בעדת צדיקים כי יודע אדוני דרך צדיקים ודרך רשעים תאבד. That's Psalm 1. Psalm 2. למה רגשו גויים ולעמים יהגו ריק, התייצבו מלכי ארץ ואוזנים נוסדו יחד על אדוני ועל משיחו, ננתקה את מוסרותמו ונשליכה ממנו עבותמו, יושב בשמיים משחק, אדוני רגלמו, אז ידבר אלמו באפו ובחרונו יבעלמו, ואני נסחתי מלכי על ציון הר קודשי, אספרה אל חוק אדוני אמר אמר אלי בני אתה אני היום יליתיך שאל ממני ואתנה גויים נחלתך לאחוזתך אפסי ארץ תאוריים בשבט ברזל ככלי יוצר תנפצם ועתה מלכים השכילו היבשרו שופטי הארץ עבדו את אדוני ביראה וגילו ברעדה נשקו ור פן יענף ותאבדו דרך כי יבער כמעט אפו אשרי כל חוסה בו. We started with a prayer, and I think this is the most important thing that you can do. I think in hard times, we have to find our way to be active and to be proactive and to get a sense of control as much as we can. And sometimes we can always pray in our heart, pray with our family, with our community. So don't forget that. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a reservist at the moment. My unit doesn't need me. I was in touch with them earlier today. I'm a captain in reserve, and at the moment I'm just at home. Just this morning I've seen many people and friends that were drafted, including my brother-in-law. He was drafted too. Yeah, it's happening. It's really happening. Talking about big numbers of people that were recruited. Earlier today, again, while trying to be useful, we collected all kinds of toys and games in the neighborhood to get it to families from the south of Israel and get it to their hotels in Jerusalem. So trying to be useful, as I said. I want you to know about the heroes. There are many, many heroes already. These are just two that I just want to show you how exceptional Israel is. These two gentlemen are both generals in the Israeli army, and both of them were citizens. The one on the left, his name is Yair Golan. He was a parliament member. He is still, I'm not sure if he's now a parliament member, but he was a parliament member until recently. From the left wing of the Israeli map. He just saw what's happening, took his jeep, his weapon, gathered a few friends, and they started saving families in the south of Israel, including fighting in close contact. The same with Noam Tibon. He just went into the battlefield to save his son, which is a known reporter in Israel, and his granddaughters, basically. So just going out there, not waiting for things to be top down, and they are just an example of many, many Israeli citizens that are just not waiting for for orders to come to them. They just go out and do whatever they can. Just these two for today, but there are many other heroes that we'll hear about in the next few days, I believe. This is Hagit, the older lady. That's her daughter. I know her daughter since she was, I think, like 2 or 3 years old. Hagit, I know her since I was probably 14 or 15. She was my instructor and one of the ladies that gave me the passion to become a tour guide. And Hagit right now is missing. She's missing in a very dangerous area in the kibbutz of Be'eri. You're going to see on the map where it is. And we don't know what happened to her. She's a mother of 1 daughter and 2 sons. Her husband Maor, again, I'm familiar with him for more than 20 years. And God's willing, we'll have good news about her. So this is another thing that I want to share with you. As I said, for those who just recently joined, another friend of mine that I did some gap year, some service as volunteers before the army service, just reported to us that 3 of his nephews are kidnapped and they are in Gaza. He's originally from one of the kibbutzim, one of the communities near Gaza. So that's just to start. We had a prayer and I had a few updates. I mentioned the amount of casualties and people that were injured, and many people that are missing or kidnapped into Gaza. I really want to say that as a father of a toddler, this is new to me, meaning I've been through many wars and operations. As I experienced that as a child, later as a teenager, Second Intifada, later as a soldier myself, later as a reservist, later as just an adult, and now I'm experiencing this as a father. And in 6:30 this Shabbat, which was Simchat Torah, the last holiday basically, that is marking the end of the Jewish holidays of the month of Tishrei. So Simchat Torah is a very unique holiday, I must say. It's a day that is above time. It's a very, very special holiday, very, very holy. The Shmini Atzeret, it's a biblical holiday that concludes the 4 holidays of the month of Tishrei. Very elevated. When I say above time, I mean this belongs to a category of holidays that are the 8th day. This is beyond. And on this special holiday, we get to wake up for sirens. My son was asleep. We just took him to the shelter room, and he was still asleep. Another time, another siren 3 times, until somewhere around 11. My wife and I were at our in-laws at the time, and my father-in-law went to the synagogue to celebrate. He's a very religious man, and I stayed with the ladies at home, and that's how we celebrated Simchat Torah. So this is a very difficult time, as I said, and but we will prevail. We'll prevail despite of many difficulties, which I'll get to on the Q&A. So this is like the main part of the update. of the update. And if there are any questions that you want to ask me, perfect. And after that, I want to show you a little bit of Gaza. I want to take you on a little virtual tour to Gaza. So if you have any questions, just yeah, you can just open the microphone.
Itamar, thank you so much for doing this. Our hearts are with you, and our prayers are with you. I think everybody's got the question of how could something like this have happened? How could the defense be so lax? It just doesn't make sense to any of us that the top technology and the top defense force in the world could be surprised like that. And I know it's so early to try to get to those questions, but if you have any comments, we'd like to know.
Yeah, and sadly, a lot of it is from the political sphere of what's happening in Israel in the past 10 months. So this, of course, could be updated as we go, but from what I understand, yeah, the combined attack that was going on was very fast and very dramatic, 5,000 rockets within the span of, I think, like 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. And then commando unit, I think the first wave was about 100 something people, but the other wave was about 1,000 Palestinian terrorists that entered Israel. So and there was like they basically blinded all the optics basically of the Israeli army. But this doesn't explain a bunch of other things. So I'm going to the political sphere because this is really where I see a lot of the problems. So I'll explain that. The facade that was shown to the Israeli people was of a very serious border and wall and security fence that was going on over there. Apparently, it was not as strong as it was supposed to be. Something that was just blown up, but wall in of itself is not supposed to stop anyone. Like we know that, but it's just everyone that in the business of military knows that walls can stop on routine time. Okay, you have the sensors, you have some viewpoints. It's not what helps. What helps is the combination of the people plus the wall plus the fence. Okay, if you don't have the people, then none of it is worth it. So now I have to go and explain what was going on. Okay, so the best way to describe what's happening in Israel, and it will be from the field of medicine actually. There is an autoimmune attack on Israeli society, which is the current government. The current government is busy with one thing and one thing only, and that thing they were not elected for that. But that's the only thing they're dealing with. So all the political focus, all the energy of the political class is busy with one thing only: crushing the Supreme Court. That's all they do. That's all they care about. And this is, as I said, autoimmune attack on the Israeli society, which made us fragile in this time. Now, this is going further. During the attack yesterday, the actual soldiers that's supposed to keep the border on Gaza were not there. Where were they? They were in Judea and Samaria, keeping all kinds of provocations of Israeli parliament members and members of the government in Judea and Samaria. So absolutely catastrophe. Add to that the fact that since last evening, Saturday evening, 12 hours into the crisis, what you see in the Israeli media is a horrific campaign. Not the media like the regular media, the social media, TikTok, stuff like that. You see multiple, I'm saying dozens, I've seen dozens personally, dozens of people that blame the army for the crisis, meaning there is an orchestrated campaign to divert all the political fire from Netanyahu to the army. This is not the government that can deal with such a situation. So what I'm saying is that there was a complete neglection of every aspect of life in the last 10 months because of this business of crushing the Supreme Court and the whole judicial reform that they've been talking about for the last 10 months. So everyone was focused on that. No one took care of the army. No one is taking care of the relevant budget. No one is doing all the estimations of what's happening. They will say sometimes on the media that, yeah, the intelligence was no intelligence. It's not true. It's just not true. I mean, because they were warning from many of these issues for the last few months. Plus, there were actual attacks on the fence in the last few weeks. So all of that was not taken into consideration because the the current government and the political elite, let's say, is only busy with crushing the Supreme Court. That's all they do. So there was no energy to focus on the real things that matter, whether from security matters, foreign affairs, economy, housing crisis, cost of living, and all of that was criminal activity. All of the things they were elected for were completely neglected. So I'm not shocked at all that it happened under the watch of this bunch of amateurs. If there is any other questions, of course, you're welcome.
Thank you, Itamar. You are wonderful, and I'm so glad you're sharing with us. In case you can hear me, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I can. Sure, Jan.
Oh, this is Jan Bora.
Yeah.
I was on the tour with you, and love you and your family, and I'm praying for your safety.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Of course, man.
Itamar, what do you hear from the north?
That's my question too.
I didn't follow it too closely. If they will start an attack, it'll probably be in a week or so. They want to exhaust the Israeli army and see them getting into Gaza, and only then they will attack. So we can wait with that. They're just testing, see what's happening, but nothing. I don't see anything serious going to happen right now, but definitely in a week or so, the more chances they will start something.
It's been suggested that some of this was so highly coordinated that maybe another country was behind it. Amir, I don't know if you know who he is, has suggested Russia. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know about Russia, but we have enough enemies. We don't need Russia to be on that. Yeah. I mean, it's a combination of these Iran axis. So I don't see Russia involved, but who knows?
Thank you.
Not on the military part. Could be on the propaganda part, maybe, because they're experts in that, but not so much on the military part. Hamas is very strong, I must say. Hamas was, you have to understand, it's a policy of Netanyahu and his government since 2010 or so, to keep Hamas alive and strong so that the split between the West Bank and Gaza will be kept, and so that they won't have to negotiate for any peace or anything like that anytime soon. So in their words, it's not me saying, it's their words, Hamas is an asset to us and not an enemy. See? So they wanted to preserve Hamas, maybe not too strong, but they want to preserve it so that the a Palestinian political entity will be divided. So as far as they're concerned, it was that was the paradigm for many years, and that's the paradigm of Netanyahu, and apparently it collapses.
Mar, where do you live?
I'm in Jerusalem.
Well, we have several people on this call, Itamar, that we hope will be with you in Jerusalem
God's willing, yeah.
in November.
Mhm.
And it will be very sad if we have to cancel. What can you say to them that will encourage them to come?
This is the person in the tourism business. I usually don't encourage people to feel uncomfortable in their trips and holidays. So if they feel like they want to be here and it's the situation allows it, of course, then they should come. But if they are concerned, then they shouldn't come, because I don't think that they should ruin their trip with being too stressful. So yeah, they can always call me, and but that's usually what I say. I mean, if I think it's too dangerous for my family, usually I don't recommend. But if it's so-so, like just not amazing, but not too bad, then I just say go with your feeling. If you feel uncomfortable, then just don't come.
So the operation by Hamas is called Alaska Flood. Is that correct?
Yeah, like the Great Flood.
So how do you connect the Temple Mount with this assault? What do you think is, and what do you think the future will be for the Temple Mount?
I'll just say that Al-Aqsa in general, that's the one thing that unites all the Arabs of the Palestinian sphere. They're divided between West Bank and Gaza, but also they're divided like as Arab Israelis and the Muslims around us. So whenever you say Al-Aqsa, that's the slogan that immediately gets everyone under one umbrella. So yeah, that's the future. At the moment, we have the status quo. I don't see anyone changes it anytime soon. Not because of even that operation. I don't think so. I don't think so. Doesn't look like it.
Itamar,
I'll say they asked me on the chat, do you think the terrorists in the West Bank will join in? Probably. What is the reaction of the Arab Israelis? At the moment, I didn't see anything happening there, but it could change. Yeah, sorry.
no, thank you. We were with you on our trip in March, and both Russell and I, when we heard about this, we were wondering about the Tomb of the Patriarchs, and we remember all of the checkpoints that we were having to go through. Do you think that's a safe place for them or not?
For the soldiers?
Well, no, I mean, is the Tomb of the Patriarch safe?
I don't see any difference. Yeah, no, I don't think it changes that part. I don't think so. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
We just heard that missiles went around the Temple Mount, didn't hit it, and Teresa was just wanting to verify if that was true.
I have no idea. I was here.
Sorry?
No, I didn't see any updates like that.
Shortly be arriving at Wheaton.
Could be, but I didn't see any report. But as I said, we'll try to update you as we go. Guys, I don't want it to be too long for at least some of you. Of course, I'll be happy to stay longer, but just for those who are not familiar with the area. Okay, so just a few maps. I want to show you a few things, a few photos. So this is Israel. The Galilee is up here. You can see the Sea of Galilee right over here. Jerusalem just over here. Here's the Dead Sea. Here's Tel Aviv. That's the coast, of course. And as you can see, the Gaza Strip is not very big. It's about 40 kilometers, let's say 30, a little under 30 miles long. And in the wider parts, I think it's, let's say 10 miles. But in most of it is 8 kilometers, let's say 5 or 6 miles wide. It's a very small place. I'm not sure about how much it is in acres. In square kilometers, it's 360 square kilometers, very, very small. Very densely populated, divided to 5 areas. The north is, as you can see, this area over here, towns like Beit Hanun, this area. We have a big refugee camp called Jabalia. I'm going to show you how it looks like so you understand where the fighting will take place eventually. We have the Gaza city itself. It's very big. And it's very spread out, very big. You can see all this area. And we have 3 refugee camps in the heart of Gaza, this area. Quraysh, Marazi, Nuseirat. That's the central part of Gaza. And we have the 2 towns in the southern part of Gaza, which some of the photos of the people that were kidnapped were actually here. Khan Yunis and Rafah. That's the southern part. Okay, so this is the area of Gaza itself. Areas that were attacked, I mean everywhere, they attacked everywhere, but a few pretty crazy stories happening in, where is it? Nativas here. So Nativas over here, there's a kibbutz over here. As you can see, it's very, very, very close to the border. It's right on the border. When you stand there, you just see into Gaza. There's a little hill over here. So there was, I think like 15 people from this kibbutz were killed. Where is it? Kfar Aza, Nahal Oz, Nir Oz. There were a bunch of kibbutzes that were practically destroyed. I mean, they burned the houses, kidnapped the people, massacred the people, including children, of course. Be'eri, in the dining room of this kibbutz, there was a hostage situation that was resolved. My friend's, one of my friend's nephew, I think he was here when he was kidnapped. My friend is from Reim, this kibbutz. So 2 of his nephews were kidnapped from here. And there was this rave party going on in the fields of this kibbutz. And 260 of the casualties were killed somewhere around here. I mean, I'm not sure which field, but this is the area, okay? So 260 young people that were having a party over here. They were seeing the rockets flying over their head, kept dancing, and that's what happened. Nir Oz, again, a kibbutz that was destroyed. I know of another lady, I can't remember if her family is from Nir Oz or Nahal Oz, but her relatives also were kidnapped from one of these 2 kibbutzes. And she's from my neighborhood. I don't know her very much in person, but she's from my neighborhood. That's the area. Kerem Shalom is an area. It's a military base and a place of where they transport goods. So about 1,000 trucks of supply were transferred to Gaza from here daily, anywhere between 800 and 1,000. And I'll just say something about. I didn't talk about it. About this whole timing of the attack. 6th of October, it's Yom Kippur War. This happened the 7th of October. But as far as the Israeli side concerned, especially the government of Netanyahu, which was very used to do that, they were very used to kind of buy peace or buy quiet from Gaza. So they allow the fishermen to go further and further, more and more miles, I think like 10 or so miles, 10 or 15 miles. Then we have goods, of course, were flowing, where they kept the goods going, electricity, water. They have no water in Gaza, basically. 90% of their aquifer water is basically polluted. So a lot of the water they get is actually from desalination plants in Israel and some purification facilities they have in Gaza, but it's not the best quality. So they were getting electricity, water, goods, reliefs when it comes to the fishermen. Then cash basically from Qatar was transferred from Israel into the Gaza Strip. This is something that was stopped by the former government and was resumed by Netanyahu's government. So all in all, we're talking about the time that was like Netanyahu was buying peace from Gaza, basically, and so this was complete a surprise, because no one expected that. I guess from, I mean, I'm talking about the society, not the intelligence. People and just random Israelis, they thought, okay, nothing is happening over there, nothing too serious. Okay, so we can go about our business in a way. So yeah, as we can see, it was not really it. I want to show you just a few photos. These are photospheres. This whole thing that I'm showing you now is a part of virtual tours that I was giving during the pandemic, and just want to show you a few photospheres from Gaza itself. When I say fisherman, that's how the fisherman's boat looks like. Okay, some of them are slightly bigger, like this one. Okay, this is how. So this is the main port of Gaza, what you see over here. That's how Gaza looks like, very densely populated, which will of course affect later the counterattack. I want to show you a new mosque they built. I think they opened it like 5 or 6 years ago. That's right near the port. That's how it looks like. Let's jump a little bit. Yeah, Palestine Square. I want to show you how their main square looks like, and one of the signs over there. You see all kinds of Hamas flags. Nothing surprising, yeah. Then, as I was looking at the different photospheres, I looked at this. This looks like a very typical a martyr sign with the flags of Hamas and Palestine over here. So very, very typical. This is what captures their imagination. The martyrs, the Shahid, Shuhada. Very, very important for them. And we're not talking about Christian martyrs in the 1st century, okay, that were killed by Nero. We're talking about terrorists, okay? So just so we're on the same page. Let's see a little more. This is a grocery store in Gaza, and I found, again, no surprise, but I just wanted you to see that. See the Hebrew? So a lot of the goods are actually imported from Israel. So clearly, it's just this powder that we use for for the washing machine, for laundry. So that's what you see over here. So a lot of it is just imported straight from Israeli factories. That's what you see here. Okay. I'm going to show you Jabalia camp. Look at the narrow alleyways. Maybe like 1 meter, maybe. Really, really small. A whole maze. So when Israel was still in Gaza until 2005, like fighting in these alleyways was something very, very common. So just like Israel does it in Jenin or in Nablus and other places in the West Bank, so here too. And now when so the soldiers were very familiar with these alleyways, but now we're almost 20 years later. Soldiers are less familiar with that. It's like a whole navigation situation in alleyways that God knows how they're going to do that, while trying to maintain low civilian casualties. Although I don't think they're going to be as the Israeli army, I don't think is going to be as sensitive to civilian casualties. I should say something about it. The Israeli army has the best ratio of civilian casualties than any other army by far. So when there's like this saying that it's the most humane army in the world. I mean, every person that was innocent that was killed is sad, of course. But I'm just in the context of battlefield, if you get one terrorist or one soldier of the enemy killed in an urban area and 9 others, okay, meaning only 10% of the casualties. If 10% of the casualties are actual gunmen, okay, that's an amazing ratio. Okay, again, I'm not talking about morally. I'm just saying how in the military profession, how it looks like. 10%, that's an amazing ratio. The Israeli army keeps, I think it's a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 ratio, meaning out of the total casualties on the enemy side, anywhere between half and a third of the casualties are actual terrorists. So this is like by far better than any other Western army you can think of. It's not me saying, these are experts saying it. So, but as I said, I don't think Israel is going to have these restraints anymore, which is very sad, by the way. I'm not happy about that, but I don't think they're going to have any other option. So if they are going to invade, if the Israeli army is actually going to invade with troops, with infantry, we're going to see a terrible ratio. So that's how these refugee camps look like. There was not this one, sorry. I wanted to show you something here, and then I want to jump to Sderot. So I found this photosphere from some soccer field in the northern part of Gaza. You can see there are all kinds of inscriptions over here, all kinds of graffitis. And this captured my eyes over here, these three, okay? So on the right side, it says Iman, which means faith, okay? Nothing wrong about that, I'm all for faith. On the left side, it says Mahaba, which means love, okay? But in the middle, it says Jihad, okay? Jihad, which is this holy warfare. Some, of course, would say the small jihad is the actual warfare, and the big jihad is your struggle against your evil inclination, your evil self, in a way. That's very nice, but I mean, jihad is just the word for terror groups. Okay, every terror group, half of the terror groups, Islamic terror groups in the world, are named jihad something. Okay, this holy warfare, which is in the name of Islam. So that's, again, what you see over here. It's in the soccer field. So children are playing, and these are the type of messages. I showed you the martyr in Palestine Square. No shocker, okay? These photospheres from a few years ago, but again, that's really what's happening. If I want to show you pictures, these are, again, I didn't prepare that for this session. This is something I did for last year. So this is really what captures their imagination. This is what they are educating their children to. It's got stuck, I think. Let's see if we can. No, let me see if something else works. Okay. So just look at it on the right side here. They changed the interface of Google, I guess. So yeah, that's what they're training their children to be. You'll see in the plays of kindergarten or plays of first grade, second grade, what they are, and the act they throw is of attack on Israeli soldiers, on Israeli civilians. That's kind of like a summer camp, what you see here. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Okay. Let me just check this one. I think I wanted to show you this one. Yeah, one more thing from the southern part of Gaza. What you see here is it's called in Arabic El Muhararat. It means the settlements that were released. Okay, the areas that we overthrow the settlements, basically the areas that were free, they turned free. Okay, so this is where Gush Katif area, this whole settlement area that Israel occupied until 2005. Okay, 2005. So talking about 20 something, a couple of dozens of Israeli settlements. In Gush Katif is like a bigger area, but there were a few others. So now it's called, in the Palestinian jargon, it's called El Muhararat, the areas that were freed. And you can see the building, see? The new neighborhoods that were built over there. See? And back whenever that was, I've seen some photospheres. I don't think they have these photospheres anymore. No, it's just maybe this one. Let's give it a try. Yeah, see, this is like new areas being built. This area is like a little busier, but see, a new neighborhood. And this was built. I'm not sure which Persian Gulf country was sponsoring it, but the whole point is like, how after this operation, how is Gaza going to rebuild itself? Like how? Who's going to put money over a place that is just captured by a terror group that is so fanatic that even when 30,000, and that's the number, 30,000 Arab workers got the permit from Gaza into Israel to work in Israel, 30,000. In Erez, that's the name of the area where they cross. They built before 2007, they built this terminal that was supposed to allow hundreds of thousands of workers to come into Israel. I think it's, maybe we can see it. I'm not sure exactly where that is. Yeah, this is probably, yeah, checkpoint here. So Erez, this is the terminal. Okay, so since Hamas took over Gaza, it's just very few people go there. Maybe just businessmen, people that need healthcare. Very few people every day, but this terminal was built for really tens, if not hundreds of thousands of Palestinian workers to come into Israel. And since Hamas took over 2007, it was operative for, I'm not even sure if it was too operative, maybe just a few months, but who's gonna pass here? No one. Okay, who's gonna invest money in Gaza? No one. Like, they just know that in 2 years all their investment will go to the sewer. And when I say to the sewer, I actually mean the sewer, because different European countries, Japan, the UNRWA, all of that invest in, desalination plants, purification to take care of the sewage system, sewer system, that you purify it. Who's gonna to help recover Gaza? Like, once they know what Hamas is doing, just out of nowhere, when Israel is actually giving all kinds of not concessions, but just helping their economy, helping the civil society. Who's going to take care of that? No one. No one's going to invest in Gaza. So the people here are going to tremendously suffer. I'm not sure if we're going to get to humanitarian crisis in 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. I'm not sure. I know that Israel already stopped the electricity, so so it's coming. So just prepare yourself for that as well. On the Sderot side, if you've never been to Sderot, I guess some of you have been. In Sderot side, we have bus stops with shelters like that. This is a bus stop, and behind it you can see the rocket-proof shelters against the shrapnels and all that. It's very, very common. You'll see it everywhere. Okay. And there is this playground over there. Okay, so just next to the playground, you'll see these concrete shelters for the children. It's really everywhere. On this side, I don't see it. Anyway, that's how it is. Yeah. So if you haven't been to this area before, then I wanted to share it with you. So more questions if you want, you're welcome.
I have a question. If I understood correctly, you said 30,000 people from Gaza work in the Israeli area.
They started that in the last government. I think it started with like 10,000, and then the last time I heard it was in the neighborhood of 30,000. And you have to understand, like, getting minimum wage for Gazans, it's unreal. It's like a lot of money. They earn about 500 shekels a month. In Israel, they can make 5, 6, 7,000 shekels a month. So it's like they can feed many people in Gaza. Many, like these 30,000 people that work in Israel support at least 10 people each, easily, like 300,000, 500,000 people could be supported by this, out of like 2 million.
Thank you.
And a lot of money flowing in as well.
A lot of, sorry?
There's been a lot of money flowing in, permitted by the Israeli government as well.
Yeah, no, not directly from Israel. It was Qatar, like, was actually giving cash. Yeah, that's true.
We are overwhelmed at Itamar, and thank you for doing this.
Do you know if the operations are still continuing to route terrorists from the south? or
From
is-
their side to ours? Yeah, there are Palestinian terrorists on our side, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, so they're still trying to get rid of them and
Yeah. No, but it's going to be very difficult because the fence now is just full of holes everywhere.
right.
So there's I don't know what's going to happen in like a year from now when we really understand what happened, but this is a disaster. This is a unimaginable disaster. I don't know where the Air Force was. This is unreal. Like one Apache could solve half of the problem. Two Apaches, just half of the problem. It's just, where are they? I have no idea. Like I spoke with a pilot, he has no clue what happened. Paul, I think, Jan, I think you're trying to speak, but you're muted.
Wasn't there also a lack of communication for the Yom Kippur war? They were caught by surprise.
Different story, but there was mainly a conception of the government that Egypt will not attack alone. They will have to attack with Syria, and they didn't see anything happening on the Syrian border, so they didn't think Egypt will pull it off. So they're just like showing off on the border, and they're doing all kinds of drills, and then they said, okay, it's not happening. Anyway, that's there was a problem with the communication of the intelligence down to the field, but yeah, there were other problems. 1970s kind of problems, but now we have different type of problems.
Can you recommend the most reliable source of information? We've had some people say that I-24 is good. Can you tell us where we can keep tuned?
Yeah, so one of the reason I opened this update WhatsApp group is because I to be honest, if you just don't watch the news, I think it's much healthier. I'm not trying to watch too much myself. It's quite difficult because I have too many people involved, family, friends, whatever. But what I will give you on the WhatsApp group, I think this is really what's important. Like, to be honest, I mean, you can, I guess I-24 has their sources, but they're okay, they're reliable, but just don't watch it too much. Just look at the headlines and that's it. I mean, again, I just, in general, I'm not for news kind of person, just the important things. Yeah. If you want to hear like analysts and like, it's also a problem. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Well, I because I've watched them a lot for enough time. Many of them are coming from the same echo chamber, and then you just hear relatively same opinions. And one of the things that I like, I noticed that because I'm a captain in the Israeli army, but I stay away from news in a way. Whenever I get the pieces of the puzzle, I find myself getting to a totally different conclusion because I'm not in the chamber, in the echo chamber. And for example, I'll give you a specific example. For the last few years, a lot of what they were saying is that what will happen if we'll crush Hamas? Okay, what will happen if we'll just dismantle not just their military branch, but also their political branch and whatever, get rid of all the, it's called the, I'm not sure, this political chamber of Hamas, like the leadership, which is not military, okay? What happened then? Like, are we going to be like a Somalia kind of country on our border, just gangs fighting each other? What do we do then? Who's going to rule it? And then they were saying, okay, if we do that, then Israel will actually have to control the territory. And that's going to cost us hundreds and hundreds of soldiers, okay? But look what happened. Like we have like 1,000 casualties, and many of them are civilians. Like, is this what the army is for? To allow civilians to be killed? This is like the exact opposite of what's supposed to happen. So for many years, my opinion was that if you want to take care of a problem, do it when it's still small. Don't wait. And this is exactly the mentality of Netanyahu. Netanyahu was always, we'll take care. We'll just buy peace. We'll buy quiet. We don't want to take care of that. It's just not good for the election. It's not good for political constellation. It's not good for now, not the Americans this, the Europeans that, or whatever. I mean, you have actual problems on your border, and you don't deal with them. You just allow them to grow to monstrous sizes. So that's pretty much what happened. So that's why I'm like, in general, I think as a general rule, it's good not to watch the news too much. And I'll give you just again the important updates. You'll see the description on the WhatsApp group just changing. If you really care and you want to take a look, fine. But I don't think I'm going to post more than once or twice a day. If I have a Zoom session, then I'll let you know. And if there's like one update, I'll try not to overwhelm.
Well, we hope to see you within a month from now.
God's willing.
It'll be a miracle if we get over there, but we all believe in miracles. And
yes, we do.
Unfortunately, we don't think this will be a 6-day war.
Oh no.
And, but let's hope it's only 2 weeks, right? And you open up right so we can come over.
We can always do some of it virtually, Paul.
Yes. We'll do that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I appreciate that you opened in prayer with Psalm 1 and 2. And how can we specifically be praying for all of you at this point? Can you give us some prayer points for that as well?
Prayer points?
Matters of ways we can be praying specifically.
The children in Gaza, the children that are kidnapped in Gaza. It's just horrific.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. This is like Holocaust disaster kind of.
Unbelievable. Well,
These are the type of pogroms, you have to understand, these are the type of pogroms this country was built to prevent. This is a pogrom. This was a cold-blooded massacre, house to house, door to door massacre. That's what was going on. This is not a war. This was just massacre that was going on. And Israel was built for two purposes: to be a shelter for every Jewish person in the world. So the atrocities that are happening in 19th century Russian, under the Russian Tsar, in the Pale of Settlement won't happen again. Nothing like in the 1940s in Europe will happen again. Nothing like in, I don't know, Sana'a of the 17th century in Yemen won't happen again. Massacres of Jews just out of nowhere. This country was built for that. And to see this is a complete failure. This is the exact opposite of what this country is all about. And the other purpose of this country is to be a light for the nations. And I mean, at the moment, it's pretty dark.
You are in our prayers, in our thoughts. We love you, Itamar. And thank you for doing this.
We love you too. Me and my family, we appreciate the support and the warm messages we get. And that's it.
Especially a big hug to little Tavor.
Thank you. Yeah, he's very happy. He's getting nice curls every day, longer and nicer curls.
I just want to say to you, as my colleague, take care of yourself. You are in my prayers, and I'm in worry about you and your family and all your friends and all of you. Hope it will all end it very soon, and that everything will be much better than it is now. That everything will be normal, that you'll be able to live a normal life, because I know what is war. We were in a war since 1991 to 1995, and I know how it feels. I know that scare. I know how it feels, and I don't wish it to your child, to your family, to any one of yours. So Itamar, I must leave. You are in my prayers once again, and take care of yourself. Thank you for all that you are doing, my dear colleague.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Anita. Chris is asking if there is any opposition to Hamas in Gaza. Yes, they have an opposition. They're called the Islamic Jihad, and they are even worse. So yeah, no one to don't count on that part.
Itamar, are you okay if we post your link on our Facebook?
Sure. For the WhatsApp group?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
that's the purpose of it, like for people to
Okay, cool. All right.
Get updates in a mild way, nothing graphic, nothing to yeah.
Okay.
Mainly focus on prayer and focus on the hope.
And you did say for now that the Arab Israelis are pretty quiet.
From what I've seen, yeah.
We can pray for that too.
Thank you. Welcome.
Itamar, I wanted to say thank you for doing this with us. I'd like to read to you Psalm 23 as a bit of encouragement, if possible.
Sure.
The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That's English. It's not as beautiful as your beautiful language, but the message is there, and we pray for you and for the peace of Jerusalem. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Colin. Okay, friends, this is for now. I will have more of these sessions, I believe. So just stay tuned. And again, you're welcome to invite family, friends. You can post the link, no problem. And just for people who wants to speak or ask an Israeli person, you can pass on the YouTube link that I'm going to upload very soon. So if people want to watch it, it's fine. It's just I want people to know what's going on. All the best, guys.
Thank you
very
Itamar.
much. Shalom.
Shalom,
Thank you,
Itamar.
Itamar. Shalom.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.